Imagine stepping onto an airplane where smoking was not only allowed but encouraged, where seatbelts were optional, and where the cockpit door was just a suggestion. Welcome to the golden age of aviation, where flying was an adventure that could literally be a matter of life and death. Today, we're taking a journey back in time to explore 13 terrifying airplane features that thankfully no longer exist. Welcome back to American Memories, where we uncover the fascinating and often shocking stories from our past. If you're new here, we dive deep into history's most incredible moments, and today's episode might just change how you feel about your next flight. But before we take off into this incredible journey through aviation history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because you won't want to miss what we have in store. Air travel has come an incredibly long way since the early days of commercial aviation. What we consider basic safety features today were once revolutionary concepts, and some practices that were completely normal back then would absolutely horrify modern passengers. From structural designs that were accidents waiting to happen to passenger amenities that could turn deadly, the evolution of air travel is a testament to how far we've come in prioritizing safety over convenience. Let's start our countdown with number 13, unrestricted smoking sections. In the early days of commercial aviation, and continuing well into the 1980s, smoking wasn't just permitted on airplanes, it was actively encouraged. Airlines provided ashtrays at every seat, and passengers could light up whenever they pleased. But here's what made this truly dangerous. The combination of pressurized cabins, recycled air, and open flames created a perfect storm for potential disasters. The confined space meant that smoke filled the entire cabin, affecting even non-smoking passengers, while the risk of fire in a pressurized environment thousands of feet above the ground was genuinely terrifying. Moving to number 12, metal seats with no cushioning. Early commercial aircraft featured seats that were essentially metal benches with minimal padding. During turbulence, passengers would be thrown around like rag dolls, often resulting in serious injuries. The lack of proper cushioning meant that even minor bumps could cause bruises, cuts, and in severe cases, broken bones. These seats had no ergonomic design, no safety considerations, and certainly no comfort features that we take for granted today. Number 11 takes us to the cockpit with completely open flight decks. Throughout much of aviation's early history, there was no barrier between passengers and the pilots. Curious travelers could simply walk up to the cockpit during flight, chat with the crew, and even observe the controls. While this might sound charming and innocent, it created enormous security risks and potential for interference with critical flight operations. A confused or panicked passenger could accidentally bump into controls, distract pilots during crucial moments, or worse. At number 10, we encounter the nightmare of no emergency oxygen systems. Early aircraft flew at lower altitudes, but as technology advanced and planes began flying higher, the lack of supplemental oxygen became a serious problem. Passengers and crew could experience hypoxia without warning, leading to confusion, poor decision-making, and potentially fatal consequences. The human body simply wasn't designed to function normally at the altitudes these aircraft were reaching. Number 9 reveals something that might shock you: aircraft windows that could actually be opened during flight. Some early passenger planes featured windows that passengers could open, similar to car windows. The obvious danger here was catastrophic decompression, but the risks went far beyond that. Objects could be sucked out of the aircraft, passengers could lose items or even body parts, and the sudden change in air pressure could cause the plane to become unstable or even break apart. Halfway through our list at number 8, we discover the absence of proper fire suppression systems. Early aircraft had virtually no firefighting capabilities beyond basic extinguishers that were often inadequate for aviation-specific fires. Engine fires, electrical fires, and fuel fires could rage unchecked, with crews having limited options to address these life-threatening situations. The combination of highly flammable materials used in aircraft construction and the lack of proper suppression systems created scenarios where a small fire could quickly become catastrophic. Number 7 brings us to the terrifying reality of no-weather radar systems. Pilots had to navigate through storms, fog, and other dangerous weather conditions using only visual cues and basic instruments. They often flew directly into severe weather that modern aircraft would easily detect and avoid. This led to numerous accidents caused by wind shear, lightning strikes, turbulence, and visibility issues that could have been prevented with proper weather detection technology. At number 6, we encounter the shocking absence of standardized safety protocols. Different airlines, different aircraft manufacturers, and different countries all had their own approaches to safety, if any at all. This lack of standardization meant that passengers never knew what safety measures, if any, would be in place on their particular flight. Emergency procedures varied wildly, training standards were inconsistent, and there was no unified approach to aviation safety across the industry. Number 5 reveals the dangerous reality of inadequate runway lighting and navigation systems. Airports in the early days of aviation had minimal lighting, making night landings and takeoffs extremely hazardous. Pilots had to rely on basic markers and their own visual judgment to safely land aircraft in conditions that would ground modern flights immediately. The lack of proper navigation aids meant that pilots often got lost, ran out of fuel, or crashed while trying to locate airports in poor weather conditions. Moving to number 4, we discover the nightmare of no cabin pressurization systems. As aircraft began flying at higher altitudes to improve efficiency and avoid weather, the lack of cabin pressurization became a serious health hazard. Passengers experienced altitude sickness, difficulty breathing, and in extreme cases, loss of consciousness. The human body simply cannot function normally at high altitudes without proper pressurization, yet early high-altitude flights subjected passengers to these dangerous conditions regularly. Number 3 takes us into the realm of structural nightmares, with aircraft designs that were inherently unstable. Some early aircraft were built with fundamental design flaws that made them difficult or impossible to control in certain situations. These planes could enter spins, stalls, or other dangerous flight attitudes from which recovery was extremely difficult or impossible. The lack of computer assistance and advanced engineering meant that pilots had to wrestle with aircraft that were fighting them every step of the way. At number 2, we encounter something that might be the most shocking entry on our list: the complete absence of black box flight recorders. When accidents occurred, investigators had no way to determine exactly what had happened in the final moments of a flight. This meant that dangerous conditions, pilot errors, mechanical failures, and other critical information that could prevent future accidents were simply lost forever. Without this crucial data, the aviation industry couldn't learn from its mistakes, leading to the same types of accidents occurring repeatedly. And finally, at number 1, the most dangerous feature of all, aircraft that were essentially flying experiments with unproven technology. In the early days of aviation, passengers were essentially test subjects for new aircraft designs, engines, and systems that had minimal testing and no long-term safety data. These planes were often rushed into service with known issues that manufacturers hoped wouldn't cause problems. Passengers were unknowingly participating in real-world testing of aviation technology, with potentially fatal consequences. As we reach the end of our journey through aviation's most dangerous past, it's remarkable to think about how far we've come. Every single one of these features has been eliminated through decades of innovation, regulation, and sadly, learning from tragic accidents. Modern aviation is statistically the safest form of travel, with multiple redundant systems, rigorous testing, and constantly evolving safety protocols. The next time you board a modern aircraft, take a moment to appreciate the countless safety features that surround you. From the pressurized cabin that keeps you comfortable at 35,000 feet, to the sophisticated weather radar that helps pilots navigate safely around storms, to the comprehensive emergency systems designed to keep you safe in any situation. Every aspect of modern air travel has been designed with your safety as the top priority. What's truly amazing is that this evolution continues today. Aircraft manufacturers, airlines, and regulatory agencies around the world are constantly working to make flying even safer. New technologies, better training methods, and improved procedures are being developed and implemented regularly. These historical aviation features remind us that progress often comes through learning from our mistakes. And in aviation, those lessons have literally been matters of life and death. The pioneers of flight took incredible risks so that we could enjoy the safe, comfortable air travel we experience today. If this journey through aviation history has fascinated you as much as it has me, Make sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments which of these dangerous features surprised you the most. Have you ever heard stories from older family members about flying in the early days of aviation? I'd love to hear about their experiences in the comments below. And remember, this is just one of many incredible stories we explore here on American Memories. From forgotten technologies to remarkable historical events, we're constantly uncovering the fascinating stories that shaped our world. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because our next video will take you on another unforgettable journey through history that you won't want to miss. Until next time, keep exploring the incredible stories of our past.